Doing Time, a Doctor Who audio adventure from Dr. Redivivus. Hello? Is someone there?
Only little old me, Doctor.
The Master. Why am I not surprised? So you're my cellmate, are you?
So it would appear. But don't get used to it. I have no intention of staying here for very long.
I'm pleased to hear it. Well, what are we going to do?
We? We? Oh, there is no we, Doctor. It's every Time Lord for himself.
It would be nice, just this once, if we could leave aside all the posturing and just agree that we're not going to get out of this place unless we work together.
Posturing? What an interesting choice of word, Doctor. I think it probably says more about you than it does about me.
Well, very funny, I'm sure. Right, to business. I suppose you've examined this cell?
Of course.
OK. I was hoping you might be a little bit more forthcoming in your answer, if I'm honest.
I believe we have other matters to discuss before we consider our present predicament.
Oh, really? Like what, for instance?
The fact that you left me to die on Katali, for instance.
If you remember, that was the fate you had in mind for me and one of my other incarnations.
Oh, yes, it was, wasn't it? Oh, such sweet memories. I must commend you, Doctor, on your use of the sonic screwdriver on that occasion. The use of sonic waves to cause disorientation and collapse was ingenious and effective. Naturally, I resent you for it, and of course I will seek to punish you for that outrage against my person. But as I say, it was ingenious.
Coming from you, that's high praise indeed. So what have you discovered about this place?
I'm still waiting.
Waiting? Waiting for what?
Really, Doctor, if you're being incredibly dense or terribly discourteous, I'm waiting for your apology, of course.
Apology? Oh, very well. Master, I'm sorry for leaving you to die. There. Satisfied?
As apologies go, that was barely adequate. But I accept, nonetheless.
Actually, come to think about it, how did you survive? I thought the Daleks were at the entrance of the cave network. There's no way you could have avoided detection.
Oh, but I didn't. You'll remember that the entrance was quite narrow. A bit of a squeeze for us, but impossible for a Dalek. Well, one of them stuck its gun through the gap and fired. I was struck with a glancing blow, so I faked my own death, and rather foolishly, the silly little Pepperpot didn't even check. To see if I was dead, it just rolled away in search of other people to exterminate.
When I was shot by a Dalek, I had to regenerate.
Oh, yes, I heard about that. Well, in my case it wasn't necessary. It merely clipped my shoulder, Rather painful, admittedly, but far from fatal.
Well, lucky old you. So can we finally start devising our escape plan, please?
Oh, very well, but I must say your small talk isn't what it once was. Well, as you said yourself, to business. We are in a vault. It has 3 chambers, a cell for each prisoner, and this communal space. The walls are made of asbantium crystal, and the cell door has timonic shielding.
Ventilation system?
I was just coming to that. It's set into the ceiling, which is 18 feet above us.
Oh, yes. Actually, I'd say it's closer to 17.5, but who's counting? In any case, it's way beyond our reach. So any thoughts?
The only option that occurs to me is that we find a way through the door. It's a reinforced alloy, but is a better option than the asbantium walls, I'm sure you'll agree. I suppose your sonic screwdriver would take centuries to calculate the correct frequency to resonate the door of its hinges. So I don't think either of us could stand to wait that long. And I dare say our jailers would notice the deterioration to the structure long before we were close to getting out.
We are in a mess, aren't we? So the sonic is no use. What about your laser screwdriver? As I recall, it had a special setting that enabled you to affect time. You used it on me and accelerated my aging process, if you remember.
Oh, yes, so I did. I'd almost forgotten about that. Centuries ago, wasn't it? How very thoughtful of you to remind me of such happy times.
Come on, just stay focused.
On the contrary, Doctor, I for one can multitask. I can plan an escape from a high-security vault and reminisce about old times. So what intrigues you about the time setting on my laser screwdriver?
I think we could adapt it into a timonic disruptor.
Oh, bravo! That's an excellent idea. There's just one problem. Flesh is one thing. A timonic shield is quite another. If the screwdriver has a hope of working against it, we're going to need a much better power source than it currently has.
Ah, but we have a power source. Well, 2 actually. Us.
You want me to give up some precious regeneration energy to power a timonic disruptor?
I would do so as well. And I think it's a sacrifice worth making.
I'm not so sure. Do you think we really can do it?
Of course we can, but time is against us. I can't imagine our jailers are just going to sit by idly and watch us escape. We've both got reputations for being dangerous and ingenious. It's a worrying combination for any enemy.
Well, indeed. It surprises me that they didn't just kill us.
It would certainly have been the safest course of action. I still can't believe I was captured, and even more surprised that you were. I have moral limits, but you would burn a planet to save your own life.
Oh, indeed I would, without a second thought. I was caught out by overwhelming odds, battle cruisers hemming me in on every side, and as I discovered to my cost, the firepower of the Odolni is formidable. My TARDIS was close to disintegration.
The Adolni? Oh, so that's who they are. I'm vaguely aware of them. I think they tried to do a deal with the Daleks during the Time War. I'm surprised they're still around.
Oh, I'm not at all. Apparently the word Adolni means resilient ones. But I'm rather surprised they're showing an interest in us. What possible motive could they have?
Perhaps they want to sell us to the Daleks. Well, whatever the reason is, it's not going to be good. Right, let's get to work. Take off the screwdriver casing and uncouple the transducers.
Very well. It's lucky it has 2 of them. 1 for each of us.
Right. I'll go first.
Are you well, Doctor?
Yes, I think so. Just a bit dizzy. How's the transducer?
Well, it took the charge, and it's holding. Well done. Well, how long it will hold the charge, I really can't say. Well, I suppose it's my turn as well, is it? Oh, dear.
Excellent. So far, so good. Well, just catch your breath. I'll reset everything. There you go. That should do it. Your very own timonic disruptor. Right, I think we should ramp up the frequency just to be sure. We need to do this quickly.
Or I could just kill you.
Whatever for. You'd have 5 minutes of bliss-filled satisfaction, and then you'd be utterly bored. And stuck in here, you'd go completely insane.
Oh, didn't you get the memo? I've been insane for countless centuries.
You know what I mean.
Doctor, you put into my hands the means to remove you from time itself. At least let me revel a little in having the upper hand. But you're right, of course. We shouldn't delay. Well, let's see how ingenious we really are. Four hinges, 4 blasts.
Make it count.
I certainly will.
That's doing it. It's doing it. Excellent.
One more for good measure, I think. We need the lock done as well.
It actually worked. Well done. Right, let's get out of here. No guards. That's rather strange.
Oh, I disagree, Doctor. We've just escaped from one of the most secure prisons in existence, and in record time. The Adolni have been foolishly overconfident in their ability to construct a prison that could hold us. They may have thought we'd try to escape somehow at some time, but they could never have predicted this. It doesn't surprise me that they didn't have guards on duty. I suggest we try down there. It leads to the landing bay.
You know, at some point we're going to need to do something about the Adoni. The fact that they nearly disintegrated your TARDIS might mean they're using some cannibalized time technology left over from the war. With most of the time-sensitive races dead or gone into other dimensions, the Adoni could become a major threat to the universe.
That's a fair assessment, I suppose. Well, when you've gathered the facts and draw up a plan, let me know.
Thank you. Your help will be invaluable. So where does this leave us? Friends again?
Perhaps not enemies.
Not enemies? Isn't that the same thing as friends?
Certainly not, Doctor. No, no. There's a world of difference between the two. You should, in point of fact, be more concerned about the difference between enemy and not enemy. If you're my enemy, then I'll always be actively seeking ways to trick and trap you, humiliate, and then kill you. But as my not enemy, I shall only cause you trouble if we actually cross paths.
Well, thank you for the clarification. It's most helpful.
And you're most welcome. At least you can rest easy about my screwdriver. It seems that the transducers are burnt out. I couldn't kill you with it even if I wanted to. Now let's find your TARDIS. You can give me a lift.
Certainly, if I can get her working again. The Adoni used a tractor beam on the old girl, and she suffered a lot of damage trying to pull away.
Oh, don't worry on that score. I shall help you. After all, it's in my best interest to do so.
To be honest, I'm not sure I feel comfortable allowing you anywhere near the console. You might not be able to resist a little bit of low-key sabotage.
Oh, come now, Doctor. Even if I were to do a little tinkering of a malign nature, what of it? We Time Lords live for centuries upon centuries. We must have something to occupy our time, to while away the small hours. You may find during those long years of solitude that having a project will fill the great chasm of boredom.
You have a remarkable way of putting a good spin on something bad. You never change. Well, come on then, my not enemy. It's time for us to go.